Is it really 80% diet, 20% nutrition? Good question. First thing to think about is, what does that even mean? Do you mean 80% of your efforts need to be directed towards your nutrition, whereas the remaining 20% of your finite efforts need to be dedicated towards training? Or does it mean that the results, 80% of the results are driven by nutrition and 20% by the training? And this concept is going to kind of warp and be warped by what you personally find difficult. So some people are going to struggle to get into the gym, or they might not like training, and vice versa. There might be people who absolutely love training but really struggle to stick to some sort of regimented, sort of goal-oriented diet. In which case, are you putting more effort into your diet than somebody who maybe struggles? And either way, it's just a fairly kind of spurious concept. Like, what does it even mean? But I kind of get what people are saying. They're saying we need to emphasize our nutrition. But here's a little thought experiment. Imagine we take two twins, and up until now they've lived exactly the same lifestyle, and obviously they've got the same genetics, and they look basically identical, and the rest of their lifestyle is exactly the same. We take one of them and we give them the best nutrition protocol in the world for their goals. Let's say muscle gain or fat loss, but we give them the best nutrition protocol in the world for their goals, and they follow it to a T. And we take the other twin and we give him the best hypertrophy muscle gaining program in the world, and he follows it to a T, and he trains like an absolute beast. Now, twin number one on the nutrition protocol just carries on his life as usual, and he doesn't do any kind of formal exercise. He just goes to work, goes to bed, lives his life. Twin number two on the training regime just eats ad hoc exactly as he was before. Let's say he wasn't gaining any weight, he wasn't putting any weight on. Previously, he was, eating at maintenance, and he doesn't change that. In 6 weeks' time, which one of those twins do you think is going to have seen any sort of change in their body composition? My money's going to be on the guy that's been training in the gym for 6 weeks, eating at maintenance, normal, versus the guy that's really focused on his nutrition. Now, whether or not he's in a caloric deficit or something like that, he will see changes. But I would put my money on the guy in the gym training like a beast, having more dramatic changes. Now, I'm not saying that this flips the script and it means it's 80% training, 20% nutrition at all. All I'm saying is we shouldn't downplay the importance of training in driving body composition changes. The way I think of it is not 80-20, it's not nutrition plus training. I think of them as multipliers. So let's go back to our example. If we now take the training guy who's probably seen better results than his twin just eating really well, and we add in that nutrition protocol to the training he's doing, that is gonna 10x his efforts. That is really gonna drive forward the efforts he's making in the gym. I think of it as a multiplying factor, not an additional factor. You take the training you're doing and you square it by your efforts in nutrition. So it's not a case of one being more important than the other necessarily. They both need emphasis. The effort you're gonna have to put into either is totally gonna be dependent on your personal preferences. If you don't mind a diet, you're gonna sail through it. If you love training, you're gonna love being in the gym. Flip that the other way and one is gonna become considerably more difficult for you. So I think of them as multipliers, not this kind of 80-20 type thing. They're both important. If your goal is to lose fat, your bigger rocks there are going to be making sure you're in a caloric deficit, and the heavy hitter of that is clearly going to be your nutrition plan, what you're eating throughout the day versus how you're training. But doing one without the other, or kind of putting our efforts, all our eggs in one basket, and letting the other one kind of sail under the radar and just doing whatever they're not putting in much effort, is going to do you no justice. They're multiplying factors. Stack the nutrition on top of training and you'll 10x your results. Stack your training on top of your good nutrition plan and you'll 10x your results. So 80-20 is a good idea for getting you to think about the emphasis you should put on nutrition, but it's a little bit of a fallacy in and of itself. Guys, if you've got any more questions, drop them in the comments below.